Listen closely, because what you're about to read isn't just another feel-good motivational piece that pumps you up for 5 minutes before you go back to your old habits. Hey, this is a wake-up call, a blueprint, and a challenge all wrapped into one, designed specifically for those who are sick and tired of being broke, who are exhausted from watching others succeed while they struggle, and who are finally ready to do whatever it takes to transform their financial reality. Now, if you're here looking for shortcuts, magic pills, or get-rich-quick schemes, you might as well stop reading now, because this isn't for you. But if you're here because you're ready to commit, to grind, to sacrifice, and to become the person worthy of the wealth you desire, then buckle up, because your life is about to change. Well, the harsh truth that nobody wants to tell you is that being rich isn't about luck. It isn't about being born into the right family, and it certainly isn't about winning the lottery or stumbling upon some secret opportunity that nobody else knows about. Wow. Being rich is about making a decision, a real decision, not the kind where you say you want something, but then continue doing the exact same things you've always done, but the kind of decision where you commit with every fiber of your being to becoming wealthy, no matter what obstacles stand in your way. And most people never make this real decision. They fantasize about wealth. They daydream about what they would do with money. They buy lottery tickets and hope for miracles, but they never truly decide that they will become rich and then back up that decision with consistent, relentless action. Well, right now, in this very moment, you have two paths in front of you, and the path you choose will determine whether you spend the rest of your life working for money or whether money starts working for you. And the first path is the one most people take. It's comfortable, it's familiar, it's safe, and it leads absolutely nowhere except to a life of financial mediocrity, where you trade your precious time for just enough money to get by, where you live paycheck to paycheck, where you stress about bills, where you can't afford the things you want, where you sacrifice your dreams on the altar of practicality, and where you eventually arrive at retirement age with nothing but regrets and a small pension that barely covers your basic needs. The second path is the road less traveled. It's challenging, it's uncomfortable, it requires sacrifice, it demands everything you've got. But it leads to financial freedom, to abundance, to the ability to live life on your own terms, to never having to look at a price tag, to providing for your family in ways you never thought possible. And the question isn't which path is better, because that's obvious. The real question is, which path are you going to choose? And more importantly, are you going to have the courage to stay on that path when things get difficult, when people doubt you, when you face setbacks, when you feel like giving up, when the results aren't showing up as fast as you'd like, and when every logical part of you brain is screaming at you to quit and go back to the comfortable mediocrity you've always known? This is where quitters are separated from winners. This is where most people fail, not because they lack the ability to succeed, but because they lack the commitment to push through the inevitable challenges that come with pursuing any worthwhile goal. And let me share something with you that successful people understand, but broke people refuse to accept. Your current financial situation is a direct reflection of your past decisions, your habits, your mindset, and your action. And if you're broke, it's not because the economy is bad. It's not because your boss doesn't pay you enough. It's not because you didn't get the right opportunities. And it's not because other people have advantages you don't have. You're broke because you've made choices that lead to being broke. You've developed habits that keep you broke. You've adopted a mindset that ensures you stay broke. And you've taken actions or failed to take actions that guarantee you remain broke. Oh. Hey, this might sound harsh. It might make you uncomfortable. It might even make you angry. But the sooner you accept complete responsibility for your financial situation, the sooner you can start changing it. The beautiful thing about taking full responsibility is that it puts the power back in your hands. Because if you're responsible for being broke, that means you also have the power to become rich. You don't need anyone's permission. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment. You don't need more education. You don't need a better job, and you don't need circumstances to change. No. What you need is to change yourself, to change your thinking, to change your habits, to change your actions, and to change your commitment level. When you make this shift, when you truly take ownership of your financial destiny, everything changes because you stop being a victim of circumstances and you start being the creator of your reality. Now, let's talk about what it actually takes to become wealthy. Not in theory, not in some abstract sense, but in practical, actionable terms that you can start implementing today. The first and most important thing you need to understand is that wealth is not created through earning money alone. It's created through understanding how money works, how it flows, how it multiplies, and how it can work for you instead of you working for it. Or people think about money in terms of wages per hour or salary per year. They think about trading their time for money. They think about jobs and bosses and climbing corporate ladders. And they completely miss the fundamental truth that nobody has ever become truly wealthy through a salary alone. Rich people think about money completely differently. They think in terms of assets and cash flow. They think about building systems that generate income without their direct involvement. They think about leverage and multiplication. They think about how to make $1 turn into $10. Work it all, because their money is working for them. This shift in thinking is absolutely crucial. And until you make this shift, you'll always be stuck on the hamster wheel, running faster and faster, but never actually getting anywhere. Let me give you some specific examples of what this looks like in practice, because understanding the concept intellectually is one thing, but seeing how it applies to real life is another. Imagine two people, both earning $50,000 per year. One person thinks like a poor person, and the other thinks like a rich person. The poor person takes that $50,000, pays their taxes, pays their bills, buys things they want, maybe saves a little bit. Well, the rich person takes that same $50,000, lives below their means, saves aggressively, invests that savings into assets that generate income, whether that's stocks that pay dividends, real estate that produces rental income, a business that generates profit, or any other time, those assets which produce even more income, creating a snowball effect that eventually makes them financially independent. The difference between these two people isn't their income, it's their financial intelligence, their discipline, their delayed gratification, and their long-term thinking. Most people are the first person they spend everything they make, and sometimes more than they make. They prioritize immediate pleasure over future security. They buy liabilities thinking they're assets. Well, the few people who become wealthy are the second person. They understand that every dollar is a soldier that can go out and fight for them and bring back more dollars. They make short-term sacrifices for long-term gain. They invest in appreciating assets instead of depreciating stuff, and they play the long game while everyone else is focused on instant gratification. Here's another truth that might sting. You probably have enough money right now to start building wealth. You're just spending it on things that keep you poor. instead of investing it in things that would make you rich. Oh, I think about how much money you spent over the last year on things that didn't move you closer to financial freedom. How much went to expensive coffee, eating out, entertainment subscriptions you barely use, clothes you didn't need, gadgets that gave you a temporary dopamine hit, and countless other little purchases that seem insignificant individually. Thousands of dollars annually. Now imagine if you had taken even half of that money and invested it wisely, where would you be financially? The answer is you'd be significantly better off than you are now. This isn't about living like a miser, it's not about never enjoying anything, and it's not about being cheap. It's about being intentional with your money. It's about understanding the difference between spending and investing. It's about recognizing that every financial decision you make is either moving you closer to wealth or further from it. And it's about having the discipline to prioritize your future over your present comfort. Wealthy people delay gratification. They endure discomfort now so they can live in abundance later. They make sacrifices that others aren't willing to make so they can live a life that others can't live. And they understand that the price of discipline is always less than the pain of regret. Let's address something that holds many people back from pursuing wealth. The belief that money is somehow bad, or that wanting to be rich makes you greedy or materialistic. This is perhaps one of the most damaging beliefs you can hold, and it's often programmed into us from childhood by well-meaning but financially unsuccessful people who taught us that money is the root of all evil, that rich people are selfish, that you can't be wealthy and spiritual, or that wanting money means you're shallow. Well, let me be crystal clear about this. Money is not good or bad. It's neutral. It's simply a tool that amplifies who you already are. Wow. If you're a generous person, money allows you to be more generous. If you're a greedy person, money makes you more greedy. If you're someone who wants to make a positive impact, money gives you more resources to do so. If you're someone who wants to help others, money enables you to help more people. Money enables you to help. Oh no. The truth is that money solves a lot of problems. It might not solve every problem, and it certainly doesn't guarantee happiness, but it eliminates financial stress. It provides security for your family. It gives you options and freedom. It allows you to focus on what matters most instead of constantly worrying about bills. It enables you to invest in your health. It lets you create experiences, memories with loved ones. It gives you the ability to support causes you care about, and it provides resources to pursue your passions and purpose. Anyone who tells you that money doesn't matter, or that you shouldn't want to be rich either already, has money and takes it for granted, or they're broke and trying to rationalize their situation by pretending they don't want what they can't have. Now, let's get into the practical strategies that will actually make you rich. Because mindset alone isn't enough. You need concrete actions that generate real results. The first strategy is to dramatically increase your income. And before you say that's easier said than done, let me challenge you on that, because in today's world, with the internet, with endless opportunities, with the ability to reach millions of people from your laptop, there is absolutely no excuse for not being able to increase your income if you're willing to. You can start a side business. You can freelance in your area of expertise. You can create digital products. You can offer services. You can buy and sell things for profit. You can create content and monetize it. You can develop valuable skills and charge premium prices. Or you can do any number of things that smart, motivated people are doing every single day to create additional income stream. The key is to stop thinking like an employee who only has one source of income and start thinking like an entrepreneur who has multiple income streams. Because relying on a single job for all your income is one of the riskiest financial positions you can be in. Yet that's exactly what most people do. What happens if you lose that job? What happens if the company downsizes? Oh no. What happens if your industry becomes obsolete? You're completely vulnerable, completely at the mercy of forces outside your control. And that's a scary place to be. But when you have multiple income streams, when you're creating value in different ways, when you're not dependent on any single source of money, you're not only more secure, but you're also positioning yourself to scale your income in ways that aren't possible with a traditional job. The second strategy is to become absolutely obsessed with learning about money, about investing, about business, about marketing, about sales, about human psychology, about economics, and about every topic that relates to creating and growing wealth. Wealthy people are students of money. They read books, they take courses, they attend seminars, they listen to podcasts, they study successful people, they analyze what works and what doesn't, and they continuously upgrade their financial knowledge and skills. Poor people spend their free time watching Netflix, scrolling social media, playing video games, and consuming entertainment that makes them feel good temporarily, but doesn't move them forward in life. If you want different results, you need different inputs, and that means being very intentional about what you're putting into your mind on a daily basis. I challenge you to make this commitment right now. For the next 6 months, dedicate at least 1 hour every single day to learning about wealth creation. Read books by people who have achieved the level of success you want. Study their strategies, model their behaviors, understand their thinking, and implement what you learn. 1 hour a day for 6 months equals approximately 180 hours of focused financial education, which is more than most people will get in their entire lifetime. And that alone could be the difference between staying broke and becoming wealthy. The information is out there. The knowledge is available. The strategies have been proven, and the pathway to wealth has been mapped out by countless people who have gone before you. All you have to do is commit to learning and applying what you learn. The third strategy is to start investing immediately, even if you think you don't have enough money, even if you're scared, even if you don't know everything you wish you knew. Because the biggest mistake people make with investing isn't investing in the wrong things. Time is the most powerful force in wealth creation because of compound interest, which Albert Einstein reportedly called the 8th wonder of the world, and the longer your money has to compound, the more wealth you'll accumulate. Someone who starts investing small amounts in their 20s will end up with more money than someone who starts investing larger amounts in their 40s, simply because they have more time for their investments to grow and compound. You don't need thousands of dollars to start investing. You can start with whatever you have right now, even if it's just $50, even if it's just $20. The amount doesn't matter nearly as much as the habit you're developing, than the time you're giving your investments to grow. Open an investment account today. Set up automatic transfers from your checking account so you're paying yourself first before you pay anyone else. And commit to investing consistently regardless of what the market is doing, regardless of how you feel, and regardless of what financial gurus are predicting. Dollar cost averaging, which means investing the same amount at regular intervals, is a proven strategy that removes emotion from investing and ensures you're building wealth systematically over time. The fourth strategy is to develop high-income skills that make you valuable in the marketplace, because your income is directly related to the value you provide. And the more valuable you become, the more you can charge for your time and expertise. What are high-income skills? Oh. Hey. They're skills like copywriting, which is the ability to write persuasively and convince people to take action. Sales, which is the ability to understand what people want and help them see how your product or service fulfills that want. Marketing, which is the ability to attract attention and generate interest in what you're offering. Programming, which is the ability to build things that solve problems and make life easier. Design, which is the ability to create things that are both functional and beautiful. Speaking, which is the ability to communicate ideas effectively and inspire people. Leadership, which is the ability to organize people and resources to achieve goals. And any other skill that enables you to create significant value for any. The beautiful thing about high-income skills is that they can be learned. You're not born with them, you develop them through study and practice, and once you have them, they can never be taken away from you. Your job can be taken away, your business can fail, your investments can lose value, but your skills stay with you forever and can always be used to create new income. No! This is why investing in yourself, in your education, in your skill development is always the best investment you can make, because the return on investment is unlimited and the skills you develop will serve you for your entire life. Oh. The fifth strategy is to build or buy assets that generate passive income, which is income that continues to flow whether you're actively working or not. Because this is how you eventually break free from trading time for money and achieve true financial freedom. Assets can include rental real estate, dividend-paying stocks, businesses that run without your constant involvement, intellectual property like books, or courses that sell repeatedly, royalties from creative work, automated and online businesses, and any other income-producing asset you can imagine. The goal is to build your asset column to the point where the passive income from your assets exceeds your living expenses. Because once you reach that point, work becomes optional. You're financially free. And you can choose how to spend your time based on what you want to do, rather than what you have to do to pay bills. Building significant passive income doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, it takes consistent effort, it takes smart decisions, it takes some trial and error, and it requires patience. But every single wealthy person you admire has done exactly this. They built systems and assets that generate income without requiring their constant attention. They've created leverage where their money and other people's time and resources work to generate wealth for them. And they've reached the point where they have true freedom. This is available to you too, but only if you start now. Only if you commit to the process. And only if you refuse to quit when things get challenging. Let me share with you the biggest obstacle you're going to face on this journey, and it's not what you think. It's not the economy, it's not lack of opportunities, it's not insufficient capital, and it's not bad luck. No. The biggest obstacle is you, specifically your mind, your doubts, your fears, your limiting beliefs, your self-sabotage, your inconsistency, and your willingness to quit when things get hard. Wow. You will face moments where you question whether this is worth it, where you wonder if you should just accept a mediocre financial life, where you're tempted to give up and go back to comfort, where fear tells you to play it safe, where other people's opinions make you doubt yourself, and where circumstances seem to conspire against you. Hey. Hey. Oh. These moments are tests. They're designed to separate those who are serious about wealth from those who just like the idea of wealth. And how you respond in these moments will determine whether you succeed or fail. Oh no. Every successful person has faced these same moments. Every wealthy person has experienced doubt and fear. Every entrepreneur has wanted to quit, and every investor has questioned their decisions. But what separates them from unsuccessful people? Wow! They felt the fear and did it anyway. They experienced doubt, but kept going anyway. They faced setbacks and got back up anyway. They heard criticism and persisted anyway. And they refused to let temporary circumstances determine their permanent reality. This is what you must do too. You must decide in advance that you're not going to quit. That you're committed to this path, no matter what. That you'll do whatever it takes. One of the most powerful things you can do to ensure your success is to change your environment and the people you surround yourself with, because you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And if those people are broke, if they have limiting beliefs about money, if they're negative, you back to their level, they will sabotage your success, whether they mean to or not. This doesn't mean you need to be cruel or cut people off harshly, but it does mean you need to be very intentional about who has access to you, who influences your thinking, and who you allow to speak into your life. Seek out people who are where you want to be financially. People who have achieved what you want to achieve. People who think bigger than you currently think. People who challenge you to grow. People who support your ambitions, and people who inspire you to become better. This might mean joining mastermind groups, attending networking events, finding mentors, joining online communities of like-minded individuals, or simply spending less time with negative people and more time with positive, success-oriented people. Your environment shapes you more than you realize. And if you're in an environment that supports and encourages wealth creation, you're far more likely to succeed than if you're in an environment that dismisses and discourages. Let's talk about the role of sacrifice in building wealth, because this is something that most people don't want to hear but absolutely need to understand. 1. Becoming wealthy requires sacrifice. There's no way around it. You cannot have what you've always had and get what you've never had. You cannot do what you've always done and achieve what you've never achieved. And you cannot maintain your current lifestyle and expect dramatically different results. Something has to change. Something has to give. And that something is your comfort, your leisure time, your instant gratification, your need for approval, your fear of judgment, and your attachment to the familiar. Wealthy people sacrifice entertainment for education. They sacrifice partying for planning. They sacrifice sleeping in for getting up early and working on their goals. They sacrifice buying things they want now for investing in assets that will provide for them later. They sacrifice the approval of broke people for the respect of successful people. They sacrifice jobs they hate but that feel secure, for businesses they love but that feel risky, and they sacrifice short-term pleasure for long-term fulfillment. These sacrifices aren't fun. They're not easy. They require discipline and delayed gratification, but they're absolutely necessary if you want to achieve financial freedom. Oh no. The good news is that these sacrifices are temporary. You're not giving things up forever. You're just postponing them until you've built the wealth that allows you to enjoy them without financial stress. In fact, the irony is that once you become wealthy, the things you sacrifice to get there often don't even matter to you anymore, because you've grown as a person your priorities have shifted, and you realize that true fulfillment doesn't come from material possessions or approval from others, but from the journey of becoming someone who achieves their goals and creates the life they want. Wow. Here's a critical mindset shift that you need to make. Stop looking for easy and start looking for effective. The reason most people never become wealthy is they're constantly looking for the easiest path, the quickest path, the path that requires the least effort and discomfort. And when they don't find such a path, they give up and conclude that wealth must be impossible for them. Wealthy people don't look for easy. They look for what works. They're willing to do hard things. They're willing to be uncomfortable. They're willing to put in years of effort. They're willing to face challenges. And they're willing to persevere through difficulties because they know that the hard path is often the one that leads to the best result. Well, think about it. If building wealth were easy, everyone would be rich. But the fact that most people are not rich tells you that it requires something that most people aren't willing to give. That something is sustained effort over time, making difficult decisions consistently, doing things that are uncomfortable, facing fears, overcoming obstacles, learning from failures. These things are hard, which is exactly why they're valuable, because anything that's easy has no value in the marketplace since everyone can do it. Let me share a framework that will help you accelerate your wealth-building journey, and it's based on the concept of leverage. Leverage means using resources beyond just your own time and effort to create results. And it's the reason some people create massive wealth, while others work just as hard but barely get by. There are several types of leverage you can use. Financial leverage, which means using other people's money to make investments. Time leverage, which means using systems and automation at scale. And knowledge leverage, which means learning things that most people don't know and using that information to your advantage. Poor people have no leverage. They trade their time for money on a one-to-one basis, and they're limited by the number of hours they can work. Rich people use massive leverage. They might work the same number of hours, but their work affects millions of people, generates income from thousands of sources, or controls assets worth millions of dollars. To become wealthy, you must constantly be thinking about how to add leverage to everything you do, how to get more results from the same amount of effort, how to make your work scale beyond your personal limitations, and how to create systems that work for you rather than you working in them. Well, another crucial element of wealth creation is learning to sell, because no matter what you do, no matter what industry you're in, no matter what your goals are, you need to be able to sell your ideas, sell your products, sell your services, sell your services, sell your services, sell your vision. Many people are uncomfortable with sales. They think it's manipulative or pushy. They don't want to be seen as salesy, but this attitude is costing them massive amounts of money and opportunity. Selling isn't about manipulation. It's about communication. It's about understanding what people want and showing them how what you offer provides value to them. It's about solving problems and making life better for others. Well, the ability to sell is one of the most valuable skills you can develop, and it applies to every area of life, whether you're selling products to customers, selling your skills to employers, selling your business to investors, selling your ideas to partners, or selling your vision to team members. People who are good at sales make more money, have more opportunities, and have more influence than people who aren't. And the good news is that sales is a learnable skill. Start studying sales. Practice selling. Get comfortable with rejection, because it's part of the process. Learn how to communicate value effectively. understand human psychology and what motivates people to take action, and develop the confidence to ask for what you want. Now, let's address the fear of failure that stops so many people from pursuing wealth, because this fear is often more limiting than any external obstacle. And the truth is that failure is inevitable on the path to success. Every wealthy person has failed multiple times. Every successful entrepreneur has started businesses that didn't work. Every investor has made investments that lost money. Wow. The difference is they didn't let failure define them. They didn't let it stop them, and they didn't interpret it as evidence that they weren't capable. Instead, they saw failure as feedback, as learning experiences, as necessary steps on the path to success. And they used each failure to get better, smarter, and more capable. You need to reframe your relationship with failure. Stop seeing it as something to avoid at all costs, and start seeing it as something to embrace as part of the journey. The only way to avoid failure is to not try, and not trying guarantees that you'll never succeed. So failure is actually a sign that you're in the game, that you're taking action, that you're attempting to create something better. Successful people fail forward, meaning they fail faster, learn faster, and adjust faster than unsuccessful people. Your goal shouldn't be to avoid failure, but to fail intelligently, to take calculated risks, to learn from every mistake, and to use each setback as fuel to push you forward. Time is your most valuable asset, and how you use your time will determine your level of success more than any other single factor. Poor people waste time. They spend hours on activities that provide no value, no growth, no income, and no progress toward their goals. Rich people treat time like the precious resource it is. They're intentional about how they spend every hour. They eliminate time wasters. They delegate or outsource tasks that others can do. They focus on high-value activities that move them toward their goals. And they understand that time is the only resource you can never get back. Once an hour is gone, it's gone forever. And the question is, what did you get in return for that hour? Start tracking how you spend your time for a week. Write down every activity and how long it takes, and then analyze where your time is actually going. You'll probably be shocked at how much time you're wasting on things that don't matter, things that don't contribute to your wealth or success, things that you'll barely remember a month from now. Then make a conscious decision to eliminate or drastically reduce these time wasters, and redirect that time toward wealth-building activities, toward learning, toward working on your side business, toward developing skills, toward building relationships. With building relationships. Toward building relationships. One of the most powerful wealth-building strategies is to think in terms of problems and solutions, because wealth flows to those who solve problems for others. And the bigger the problem you solve, the more people you solve it for. And the better your solution, the more wealth you'll create. Stop thinking about what you want from the world and start thinking about what value you can provide to the world, what problems you can solve, what needs you can fulfill, what pain you can alleviate, what desires you can satisfy, and what services you can offer that make life better, easier, more enjoyable, or more successful for others. Every product or service that generates significant money does so because it solves a problem or fulfills a need. And the marketplace rewards problem. If you want to make more money, figure out bigger problems to solve, or figure out how to solve problems for more people, and the money will follow naturally. I don't know. Wow. This is why focusing solely on money is backwards. You don't chase money, you chase value creation, and money chases you as a result of the value you create. Consistency is the secret weapon of wealth creation, because it's not what you do occasionally that determines your success. It's what you do consistently over time. Oh no. Most people are sporadic in their efforts. They get excited and go all in for a week or a month. Then they lose motivation and do nothing for a while. Then they get inspired again and repeat the cycle. But this inconsistency ensures they never build momentum, never see significant results. Hey, wealthy people show up every single day. They do the work even when they don't feel like it. They maintain their habits even when results aren't visible. They keep investing even when the market is down. They continue learning even when it's not immediately applicable. And they persist even when progress seems slow. And understand that success is built in the unsexy, unglamorous, repetitive daily actions that compound over time into extraordinary results. Hey. It's the discipline to save and invest a portion of every paycheck. It's reading for an hour every day. It's working on your business for 2 hours every morning before your day job. It's making those sales calls even though you've been rejected all week. It's creating content even though no one is watching you. It's practicing your skills even though you're not good yet. Consistently, even when there's no immediate reward. This is where most people fail. They want immediate results. They want success now. They want to see progress after a week. But wealth building is a marathon, not a sprint. And those who win are those who can maintain consistency over years, not days. No! Your beliefs about money and success will either propel you forward or hold you back. And most people have unconscious beliefs that sabotage their wealth creation without even realizing it. And, well, these beliefs might sound like money doesn't grow on trees. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. You have to have money to make money. All rich people are lucky or corrupt. I'm just not good with money. Success is for other people, not for me. Or a number of other limiting beliefs that create a mental ceiling on what you think is possible. Hey. Well, the problem with these beliefs is they become self-fulfilling prophecies. If you believe you can't become wealthy, you won't take the actions necessary to become wealthy. And therefore you'll remain not wealthy, which reinforces your belief, creating a vicious cycle. And you must identify and challenge these limiting beliefs, question where they came from, examine whether they're actually true, and deliberately replace them with empowering beliefs that support your wealth creation. Hey, new beliefs might sound like wealth is available to anyone who pursues it intelligently. I am capable of learning whatever I need to learn to succeed. My past does not determine my future. I create my own opportunities through my actions. Money flows to me as I provide value to others. And I am worthy of wealth and success. These new beliefs need to be reinforced daily through affirmations, through consuming content that supports them, through taking actions that prove them true, and through associating with people who embody them. Let's talk about the importance of speed in execution, because in today's fast-moving world, those who act quickly have a massive advantage over those who overthink, overplan, and wait for perfect conditions. Most people suffer from analysis paralysis. They think about their goals, they research, they plan, they prepare, they wait for the right time, they wait for more information, they wait for conditions to be perfect. Hey! Meanwhile, successful people have a bias toward action. They make decisions quickly, they implement immediately, they adjust along the way, and they understand that done is better than perfect because done gives you feedback, data, and results, while perfect keeps you stuck in preparation mode forever. Oh, this doesn't mean being reckless or impulsive. It means making the best decision you can with the information you have, taking action, seeing what happens, learning from the results, and adjusting accordingly. You will make mistakes. You will have to pivot. You will wish you'd done some things differently, but you'll be so far ahead of where you'd be if you'd waited for perfect conditions. Hey. The market rewards speed. Opportunities don't wait for you to be ready. And momentum is built through taking action, not through planning action. Oh. Aye. Develop the habit of fast execution. When you have an idea, move on it immediately. When you see an opportunity, act quickly. When you make a decision, implement it without delay, and watch how much faster you progress compared to those who are still thinking about what you're already doing. No! Your relationship with money itself is crucial to understand and improve, because many people have a dysfunctional relationship with money that keeps them in scarcity. Some people are afraid of money, some resent it, some feel guilty about wanting it, some sabotage themselves when they start making it, some spend it as soon as they get it, and some hoard it out of fear of loss. A healthy relationship with money sees it as a tool, appreciates it, but isn't controlled by it, respects it by managing it wisely, enjoys it without guilt, saves it without hoarding, spends it intentionally, invests it confidently, and understands that it's abundant and available to those who create value. Money is energy, and energy flows to where it's respected, appreciated, and put to good use. Oh no. If you resent money, if you believe it's evil, if you feel guilty about having it, or if you're careless with it, you'll unconsciously repel it from your life. But if you appreciate money, if you're grateful for what you have, if you manage it responsibly, if you invest it wisely, and if you use it to create value for yourself and others, you'll attract more of it into your life. Well, I'll start changing your relationship with money today by being grateful for every dollar you receive, by treating your money with respect, by making conscious decisions about how you use it, and by seeing it as a positive force in your life rather than a necessary evil. As we approach the conclusion of this article, I want to leave you with a challenge, because reading this isn't enough. Being inspired isn't enough. Agreeing with everything I've said isn't enough. And having good intentions isn't enough. The only thing that matters is what you do next, the actions you take, the changes you make, and the commitment you uphold. No. Right now, in this moment, you have a choice. You can close this article, feel motivated for a few minutes, and then go back to your regular life where nothing changes and you stay exactly where you are. Or you can make a decision, a real decision, to become wealthy, and then immediately start taking actions that support that decision. Well, here's what I challenge you to do. Within the next 24 hours, take 3 concrete actions toward building wealth. It doesn't matter how small these actions are. What matters is that you're taking action, that you're building momentum, that you're proving to yourself that you're serious. Maybe you open an investment account. Maybe you create a budget and find money to invest. Maybe you start learning a high-income skill. Maybe you reach out to a potential mentor. Maybe you reach out to a potential mentor. Maybe you begin researching business ideas. Maybe you write out your financial goals. Maybe you write out your financial... Then continue taking action every single day. Make wealth building a non-negotiable part of your daily routine, and commit to doing something every day for the next year that moves you toward financial freedom. Imagine where you'll be a year from now if you take consistent action every single day. You'll have learned so much. You'll have made progress that seems impossible right now. You'll have developed habits that support wealth creation. You'll have increased your income. You'll have built assets. You'll have grown as a person. And you'll be so far ahead of where you are today that you won't even Recognize your old life. The path to wealth is simple but not easy. It requires knowledge which you can acquire. It requires skills which you can develop. It requires habits which you can build. It requires consistency which you can maintain. It requires sacrifice which you can make. And it requires commitment which you can give. Hey, everything you need is within you or available to you. There are no legitimate obstacles preventing you from becoming wealthy except the ones you accept as real. The question isn't whether you can do this. You absolutely can. The question is whether you will do this, whether you'll commit, whether you'll persist, whether you'll do whatever it takes for however long it takes. Well, this article is titled Not for Quitters for a Reason, because the journey to wealth will test you, it will challenge you, it will push you to your limits, and it will give you countless reasons to quit. Most people will quit. They'll face obstacles and decide it's too hard. They'll experience setbacks. But you're not most people. You're someone who's reading this because you want something more. You're hungry for success. You're tired of struggling, and you're ready to do what it takes. Quitters never become wealthy. They give up too soon. They quit right before the breakthrough. They abandon their goals when things get tough. And they spend the rest of their lives wondering what could have been. If only they'd persevered. Winners, on the other hand, refuse to quit. They keep going when everyone else stops. They push through obstacles instead of being stopped by them. They see challenges as opportunities to prove their commitment. And they understand that the only way they can fail is if they quit. Be a winner. Be someone who finishes what they start. Be someone who does what they say they'll do. Be someone who commits and follows through. And be someone who becomes wealthy because they refuse to quit no matter what. Your life can change starting right now, today, this very moment. But only if you decide to change it and then back up that decision with action. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop waiting for conditions to improve. Stop waiting for more information. And stop waiting for fear to go away. Start now. Start messy. Start imperfectly. Start scared. But start. Because starting is the hardest part. And once you start, the momentum begins to build. You are capable of so much more than you're currently achieving. You have potential that's being wasted. You have dreams that deserve to be pursued. And you have a responsibility to yourself and to those who depend on you to become the wealthy, successful, fulfilled person you're meant to be. The future you want is on the other side of the actions you need to take. And those actions start today. Welcome to the beginning of your wealth journey. Welcome to the path less traveled. Welcome to the challenges that will forge you into someone worthy of wealth. And welcome to the life you're about to create. Now stop reading and start doing. Because this video will only make you rich if you apply what you've learned. And that part is entirely up to you. Wow.